streamed for you guys. So you win at it. Isn't that great?
We do have Fizz and Cannon being banned out. Little purple and blue Yordles are not welcome on the blue team. Jarvan and Annie being banned out. So some particularly specific bans against players here. Not too sure what this is shaping out to be just yet, though.
It's going to be interesting looking at what the next two bans are, because those are really going to dictate what a team really does not want to see.
Yeah.
The Jace being banned out, interesting. They've probably scouted out Essence 8 and noticed probably that their mid laner is a Jace player.
They've probably taken out a couple of types of weapons. They have like an assassin and a team fight mage and a poke mage.
Yeah, Kennen really rising up in popularity nowadays.
Yeah, just from that one sort of little minor change to his ultimate. So basically what happens now is your ultimate will apply stacks of the storm, even if you don't originally have any stacks on you, and it will stun you more efficiently that way. So it's a lot more reliable in team fights. However, after the initial hit, staying inside doesn't deal damage. So at least it's more reliable. We do have Aurelia though being banned out, so a lot of team fight presence being taken off the plate for Team Renewal Desu. They did play with 2 of those 3 champions, I believe, in the game before, if my memory serves me correctly.
Yeah, they had the Annie support and the Aurelia top lane.
Yeah, that's right.
So those are being banned out, so we're going to get to see at least 2 new champions for Team Renewal Desu. Let's see how they adapt.
They played really, really well like that too. Their jungle, I believe, might have been banned last game as well, the Jarvan. So we do have Lucian coming out as the first pick. It's an interesting first pick with all of that's left up on the board. Ari hasn't been picked yet. Xerath has been picked. There's a lot of things that they could have picked, but there will be the AD first for Team Renewal Desu. That's a good first pick. We do have our first draft anyway. We do have Nidalee coming out for the purple team. Most likely going to be in the jungle, but we could see a Nidalee in the lane. It's still viable. There's nothing wrong with it. Nothing actually changed with the Nidalee in the jungle. So going to be seeing what the other pick is.
We also don't know who goes in what lane for the purple team. It's going to be very interesting to know who goes where.
Yeah, we're not completely familiar with all these players, but we're going to make inferences as they go along. They're just making their final decisions here, and it looks like it's going to be Lissandra being locked in for the purple team. Those
could be top or could be mid.
Yeah, those are a great couple of picks, though.
Usually, if you're doing pre-made teams, you want to get your either the most priority, like the strongest thing there is first, or you are going to want to go for flex picks that could go in any lane. You have to keep the opponent guessing.
That's right. So they're playing the champ select phase really well, and also they have already the makings of a very good pick comp. Nidalee and Lissandra work fairly well together to follow each other up on their picks. But we do have the Xerath being picked here by Higham Summit. Thresh coming out instead of Annie. So it will be Thresh and Lucian. Fairly safe lane for farming. Can usually zone people off and just survive 3-man dives fairly well too. So that's looking pretty safe there. But now the purple team gets to answer with the bottom lane.
Xerath coming back again.
Yeah.
Really played it well the previous game.
I feel like you're going to be seeing a couple of these champions, especially Lissandra and Graves and Xerath. We're going to be seeing a lot throughout the tournament. There's really strong picks right now.
Yeah, and Lucian is not a bad pick either. However, Graves is, at the moment, considered to be a slightly better version than Lucian in lane.
Yeah, in lane, but it's really funny because, yeah, like you said, Lucian is still a great pick, but it's just those few nerfs that really give the perception that there's something wrong with him. But in reality, he's still quite strong. It will be Janna being picked up for Graves. We saw in the last game against Kalista how that went. Thankfully, not quite as much pressure with Lucian.
So we're still looking for the top lane and the jungle for Team Renewal Desu. And from what I see, they need a front line.
Yeah, right now I'm kind of liking Essence 8's team a little bit more. They've got actually the option to make picks or to siege towers. Their picks can go either way, really.
And they pick Rek'Sai and Gnar.
Yeah, Team Renewal Desu going to be picking up a front line with Rek'Sai and Gnar in it. That's a pretty good front line.
But you have to remember that the Gnar has been nerfed already. The duration is a bit shorter.
The Rek'Sai nerfs were probably a lot more severe. They took like more than 0.2 off his Q ratio. They took a lot of damage away from Rek'Sai. But Rek'Sai still quite strong. Let's see where he's going to go though. Probably going to go to the jungle actually. Never mind.
Not entirely sure that it'll be a Heimerdinger top, though it has been played top and is actually quite effective. To much surprise. However, the team fight potential isn't there.
Ahri is left open.
Ahri, Cassiopeia, Mundo, all very good picks. But at the moment, I think he is pressing the random button or just going through everything, coming back, really and it's Ahri that's being locked.
I think it will be probably Lissandra up in the top lane. Yeah, so this is a great composition from the purple team. I really like what they did. They actually have the option to siege fairly safely and also make picks using Lissandra, Ahri.
It's a bit AP heavy, and they don't really have a front line. But with the disengage of Janna and the slows and the poke potential, especially, it's going to be a big war of the trenches on both sides. Honestly.
Yeah, blue team does not have enough engage across the range to close the gap against the purple team. They have a lot of really good disengage and a lot of good siege too. So.
This could potentially actually be a very long game because of lack of engage on both teams.
And a lot of clear on both teams too, looking at Ahri and Xerath.
We'll see how the rotations work.
Yeah, I mean,
honestly, I think it's going to be based on an outplay by one team or another. It's the only way I can see one team snowballing really out of control.
Yeah, probably with picks.
And dragon control.
There's pick potential on both teams, actually. We do have Xerath and Thresh. On Team Renewal, Desu makes a decent pick composition for that team. And then on the other side, we have Charms and Frozen Tomb coming up from Lissandra, making up good picks for that team as well. So maybe Vision will be the identifying or the key factor in this game. But as it stands, damage looks about even. I just think I like Essence 8's team a little bit more. I like what they're thinking about. I like that they're not thinking about fighting head on.
Well, both teams have an idea as to what they want to do. Now, who will do it better is what we're going to see.
But in the context of the enemy team, I like their team better. I'm not sure about the Rek'Sai pick. I think that's what bothers me the most. As well as the Gnar, I don't see Gnar, other than maybe Lissandra, getting onto very much. It's going to be really hard for him if he has Gnar just doesn't get on Ahri. That's a given. Ahri will get away from Gnar all the time. Nidalee, really hard to catch. Janna, really hard to catch. Maybe Graves and Lissandra if Lissandra places herself in a bad spot. But Gnar is not going to have many people to pick or engage on as Mega Gnar. It's going to be really difficult for him to close the gap. Rek'Sai can close the gap a little bit better, but gets destroyed fairly quickly. And with the amount of kite potential that the purple team has, those two picks kind of bother me in this instance. I think I would have liked to see something more straightforward or something with a much longer engage. There's a host of champions that could have been picked in that case. But yeah, so I'm going to be really curious to see how that top lane and jungle shapes out, especially as the mid-game rolls around, especially Dragon. Actually, I would like to see what happens there, because purple team, while they do have a lot of good disengage and siege, I'm not sure if their comp will actually work that well in the jungle. That might be a place where Xerath and Gnar shine a little bit more. So we'll have to see about that.
and we're 25 seconds from loading into the game. Just bear with us a little bit.
Awesome.
It's we're getting there. It's spectator delay. It's always a hassle.
That is not the famous pro player Jinte, by the way. That is Jinty.
Oh, I think we're gonna just call him Jint.
Jint, okay. Jint is the name.
It's like
Le
Flint.
Toucan has arrived.
Le
All right,
Toucan?
Le Toucan.
But can he?
Oh, yo, he can. Actually,
Who
it's
can? Toucan.
who he. Who he can.
Let's see who wins the skin war. Oh, look at this. Beautiful. All diamond borders.
Oh wow, they're making me look bad.
Nidalee with the vintage Bewitching Nidalee.
I'm sad that there's no red skin for Lucian. He really needs
Full
like a
on
red
skin for Essence 8. It's really nice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty disappointed in that Xerath.
I know.
I mean, what's going on there? All of your team is red except for you.
And I have all the Xerath skins. Well, not all the Xerath skins. I have 2 Xerath skins. So I get to choose between having blue lasers, green lasers, or red lasers. I accommodate everyone.
Alright, so we are going to be loading up in the game, just fixing up the interface really quick for you guys. Feel free to join us if you're in the area. The Concordia City Heroes happening at Concordia. You can find more information on Facebook by looking up
CESA.
CESA or
Concordia.
Concordia City Heroes. And the teams are going to load in here and see what early ward coverage happens. We do have an Ignite coming out from Ji Yang playing Janna on the red side. That's really interesting. And we will have just a standard exhaust and heal coming up from the other team. Yeah, that's a fairly safe lane actually, and Janna doesn't pose much of a threat to it, so it's a pretty smart move for them just to go with the safest thing possible. Really farm Lucian up, and I think they can probably win skirmishes and 3v3s fairly well. But depending on how well their Gnar splits in those instances, if that's what they choose to do, not too sure how he will do. I'm going to see this Nidalee jungle. Not sure what to start on Nidalee jungle. Sometimes I start with the E, the attack speed is fairly nice. But we'll see what they start. Maybe we can learn a lesson here. Going to be covering that blue entrance. Quite a bit of time.
Alrighty, what's happening? Apparently the team names decided not to show up.
Minions have spawned.
But
That's
as
okay.
I said, Team Renewal Desu is on the blue side and Essence 8 is on the red side. We will fix that eventually. I don't know why it's messing up, but it is. We'll go along with it.
No problem. Alright. So we do have Rek'Sai styling on the bug. And it is going to be I think it was a W start from Nidalee, which is also good. I'm not sure, I think it still reduces magic resistant armor. But anyway, it's going to be the pounce start. Good for Nidalee. And Rek'Sai, standard start as well. I'm really curious to see if the Nidalee is going to make a move up in the top lane or bottom lane, because she does have that potential in these early stages of the game, especially with how these lanes shape out. We do have Thresh going a little bit aggro early on, going to be winning that trade, but just barely the shield coming out from Janna.
That
We do
Lucian's
have
passive is also very helpful.
Nidalee coming down from the side. She is going to miss the spear. Lucian is going to spot that from the side. Oh wow, Thresh is going to have to actually flash and exhaust. The Q comes out, but the exhaust was still on as she threw that. Had she waited just a second more, that could have probably finished Thresh. But exactly as we thought, Nidalee putting that early pressure on. She's going to be moving up here, but Rek'Sai is in the area. It's fairly dangerous. Rek'Sai has red buff and can do quite a lot of damage at this stage of the game.
Also very smart of Nidalee to go for the support that was lower, but
Yeah.
was further away.
Yeah.
Those leads really helping her out close the distance.
You can see there was good communication on the side of the red team as they all went down on Thresh at the same time. The charm is going to land on Tsumaki. He's going to take a bit of trade damage, but he's safe. Literally being pinged out.
Yeah, there's not enough damage on the board to for all these mid laners and ADCs for like for a kill to happen without jungler support at the moment.
We do have Rek'Sai though, going back to his farm, he's just making sure he's safe. Oh wow, Graves winning that with a buckshot. Thresh not going to be landing too much of a hand. He needs a shield there, but it was too little too late.
Meanwhile, Nidalee is playing her red buff, fairly healthy, still has blue buff as well, so we'll just heal that back up with heal.
If my cat looked like that, I wouldn't call it healthy, I'd bring it to the bed. She was dead.
She has a heal, it's fine.
Yeah, you're fine until Rek'Sai shows up, but he's actually just going to be on the bottom side of the map for most of the first 4 minutes of the game. He's going to go back and probably get his first jungle item though. Nidalee looking to apply the pressure, but not sure if she can do anything in this lane. Looking towards the top lane, actually the Scuttle River for now, but is going to be Thresh throwing out the hook, going to land at the Janna, but doesn't capitalize on it. That would have been quite nice had Lucian been in the auto attack range.
Meanwhile, we have a gank in top lane, and Nidalee taking a lot of punishment from the turret. Forced to back, but Gnar is also forced to back, which is going to let Lissandra farm up and put more pressure on the top lane.
He thought about backing, and then he didn't. He's just like, yeah, I need the CS, I need this experience. So, Am Summit playing quite a different champion this time. Still the engaged role, though. Seems to be calling shots on his team most likely. We do have Lissandra, though, coming out. She's going to get the dive and the flash WQ onto Gnar for the first blood. Very nicely played, but it's going to cost her some cooldowns. Wonder if Gnar and Rek'Sai might be able to capitalize on that later on. But we do have Lucian, though, is going to take a turret shot and a tornado from Janna. He's going to be forced to flash away. Gyuk out of mana. Maybe he can follow up on this, but the ignite is not enough to take out Lucian. They will walk away with their lives. That was a really close one.
Very close indeed.
We do have
In fact,
Nidalee,
he
though.
survived by probably a tick of damage.
She will choose to take out the pink ward instead, but had she kept running, maybe she could have pounced on over and thrown a spear.
Especially that Thresh was out of mana, so he couldn't protect his ADC very well at that point.
Right, we do have Ahri being taken dangerously low though. Oh, and Rek'Sai is going to find Nidalee up in his jungle, and the early game is still around where Nidalee is not quite as strong as Rek'Sai in the 1v1. A full combo from Rek'Sai taking out so much damage. He's going to flash over the wall and aggro Dragon to push her back, but it pushes him back too, and that is not a good idea. The Dragon gets started up, but yeah, it looks like Nidalee's going to have to go away.
The idea was nice, the execution wasn't.
Yeah, it was one of those things where like, yeah, I want damage on the enemy so by doing this awesome trick, and then you get knocked back like the Janna ultimate. Didn't know that Dragon farted that powerful. We have a bit of exchange coming up on the top lane.
And the CS is fairly even all across the board. Thresh having 7 CS because of his relic shield. But otherwise, that's fairly even.
Yeah, the bottom lane is going really hard on each other.
Well, currently the only thing that separates the teams is that one kill in the top lane.
Yeah, they're going really hard on each other and not looking for small advantages. They're just looking to fight, which I really like. It makes for an exciting game, and especially when you see an offensive Janna working. There's a lot of fun stuff coming up from that team. But it's interesting because they do have the option to be safe if they wanted to. Both sides do. We do have blue team positioning for the Dragon. It looks like we're going to be using their ward coverage all at the same time, which is really smart. But the wards are going to be pinned out. We do have the Ahri ult coming out and the charm. Rek'Sai is going to find safety with the tunnel, but Ahri gets hooked and she gets played back. There's the flash out of Thresh. Ultimate right of the arcane coming out from Xerath, taking Ahri up very low. Graves is exhausted and slowed and stunned and taken out. He's knocked up. Nidalee will go down too. She pounced in at the wrong time. Ahri with no mana. She'll be taken out. The double kill comes out for Lucian. And Thresh gets the final hook of this fight. It looks like Lissandra will surely go down. And that is a 4 for 1 for the blue team. Very nicely played.
That was intense.
Yeah.
And we're only 8 minutes in. This promises really well for the rest of the match.
Everybody's laners are really good, but I've got to say...
the team fight execution was a lot better from the blue side, I have to say.
Blue teams...
I feel that Essence 8 was a bit too greedy and bit off more than they could chew, especially this early on in the game.
You could tell that Essence 8 is not as much on the same page as the blue team is, because blue team had all of their members placing wards at the same time, clearing wards at the same time. They were in the same area, doing the same thing, and also kiting at the same time. They kited back beautifully.
But you also have to remember that this is Essence 8's first game of the tournament, and Team Renewal Destiny already played. So maybe it's possible that Team Renewal Destiny is already like warmed up to the tournament.
Right. That's right. Team Essence 8 made their way late into the tournament, if I'm
due to
correct.
technical issues.
More technical issues.
Welcome to LAN event. Technical issues aplenty.
Unfortunately, we do have Italy going to be taking up a red buff. Correct side. Whoa, we do have Xerath though. Stunning Ari, taking her down 50%. Quite low. If Ari gets shoved out of lane, this would be a terrible time for her to leave, because Nidalee is on the top side of the map, and the rest of the blue team can easily transfer over the dragon and take that for free. With how organized the blue team is, I wouldn't be surprised if that were the case. We do have the hook though coming out. The shield goes on Graves, gets played back, he gets hit by the wall, the culling comes out. Is it enough to take out Graves? Not quite enough, they should have just focused on Janna, but the final auto attack will take out Ji Yun. Sumaki getting hit by Nidalee though. Nidalee is going to get the kill, but Rek'Sai might look to get a kill here as well. He has the red buff, dealing a ton of damage. He's going to be taking down on Nidalee, but the potion is going off, and the double kill comes out for Nidalee. So close from Rek'Sai on getting that, but that was a miscalculation in the end. Wow, that was a lot of kills coming out for the red team, and thankfully, because they needed it. But it is Lissandra going to be forced to use her ultimate onto Gnar to escape. Mega Gnar coming out, swiftly dodging that rock and the rectangle of stun. Really nicely played there from General Gatsby. Good mechanics there. And the farm alarm coming out for the blue. Trying some interface stuff real quick, folks.
Oh, they don't see it.
I know, but I can't see anything either.
I'm sorry. They're trying to fix the lack of text.
Oh, Thresh missing his hook by 8 miles is gonna get Janna farted backwards. Janna doesn't have any team to help with that. So, oh, Nidalee shows up though. She's like, yeah, don't worry, I got you, girl. I will make you look silly, but she'll miss the spear, and Thresh gets out safely. That was a lot of funny things going on from both teams. Oh, we have team names. We can afford those now?
Slowly but surely.
One letter at a time. Right, we do have Cuckoo Pet farming up in the lane.
Beautiful name.
Beautiful name. I'm glad we screened these people before they enter the tournament. Yeah, the blue team playing fairly defensively. They recognize that the red team has really good mechanical skill, really good picks. They have an Ari and a Nidalee. I mean, they have so much more potential. Xerath though can get caught out there very easily. I don't know if he thought Lissandra was on his team or what, but he kept walking in her direction. I'm not too sure about the awareness there, but that will possibly mean free dragon from the red team. They're going to be coming up here, but the blue team is going to contest. They're going to throw down the culling onto the Nidalee, scare them off a little bit. The red team dragon anyway. They still have vision of this anymore. Actually, now they do. Looks like it's still making it. The red team will take that away. The first dragon goes to Essence 8. Very nicely played. So they made a pick onto Xerath using their pick potential that they have with Lissandra and Ari. Overkilled it and then took the dragon just as they were meant to. And you know, oh wow, nice charm coming out. It's gonna land on Rek'Sai. Rek'Sai's still squishy, he's gonna be careful. So he's gonna get away from that one. Fresh, getting a minion. So actually, Essence 8 could have, Team Renewal Destiny actually could have contested that dragon. They could have probably done a little bit more, but afraid of being blown up by the enemy team in order to lock down. This is probably going to be dangerous. We do have the flash coming out in the ultimate from Ari, or rather the flash. It looked like Rek'Sai flash, but he didn't. Just the open up from Ari. Forced away. But Team Renewal Desu, they have really good map control, as we saw in the first game of the day. They can still make it back here. Apparently, Rek'Sai is going to come over. He's going to get charmed up. Not sure what he was thinking there because it's fairly far away. Jinte, though, finding the Ron champion into Akisuke. He's going to get...
And Jinti, or Jint.
Jinte.
Very nimble on his paws to dodge the Azerath ultimate.
Yeah, that's true.
Preventing Rek'Sai from backing.
Yeah, checking who's there.
Michigaya will go for it? No.
No, that would be getting baited. But Lissandra is going to go for it. Rek'Sai is going to flash up the wall, but Jinte is really low now. This might be dangerous for Jinte. He's going to get exhausted. This looks like a kill for High on Summit. He's going to get it. The power going to go down in the bottom lane. Grim Sylph going to get kited out here. Probably going to drop from Ignite. One more tick should do it, but he survives. General
How
Gatsby.
much health did he survive with?
I have probably nothing.
About 20 health.
General Gatsby, though, moving around very fancily, but he will be taken out by Samaki in the end. Meanwhile, in bottom lane, they're all very low. High on Summit going to get taken out by the Ignited auto attacks, and one more from Warlock should do it. Very nicely played, back and forth from both teams. Really not sure who got the most out of that. I think both teams came out even in the end. It was about a 2 for 2, I believe. No, it was a 1 for 2. So red team making a little bit more out of that, but
well, Essence 8 is really controlling the map now, even though the gold is very even. They've got 2 turrets down, which gives them a lot more roaming potential.
Alarm coming out, pick up the red buff. Ori picking up the buff, really help her out a lot, drop that lane out. Really, she doesn't want to be staying in lane against Seraph. There's nothing she can actually do. She would much rather push the lane out and probably try and group, make plays, deploy, play that kind of game, because Seraph plays way too safely for her to do much. Bit of a stale lane up in the top lane. Sandra against Gnar, basically shoving each other out. Really, we're looking towards the jungles to make plays in the early game, and since both jungles don't have the greatest lockdown, it's going to be hard to snowball the game early on very quickly. We do have Ari, though, dodging the Xerath ulti with her ultimate, making it up just enough health to live. She had under 20, under 30 HP, that's for sure. We got Rek'Sai, though, showing up in the bot lane, and Nidalee showing in the top lane. So this might be a good time for a play to be made, but Xerath has no ultimate for the barrage support. Jan is going to be spotted out by Team Desu. We're putting that to work promptly. She recognized it right away too. As soon as she took 2 hits off that, she saw Xerath move from the mid lane towards her direction. She knew immediately that there was a ward there.
It's really been a vision-oriented game, with the picks being taken while people are clearing wards.
And that's exactly how these two teams should be playing more or less, actually. I think Team Renewal Desu can actually force more things, though, as 5. They just need to be careful not to be picked right before those things happen. As long as nobody gets picked and they can actually contest things as 5, they have a very strong team fight that if Team Essence does let them move forward into whatever they're contesting, it's very dangerous for them. Alright, we have the red team positioning a little bit, putting down some wards in the entrance of the enemy jungle, looking to prepare for the next dragon that comes up in about 50 seconds. Jin putting down some good vision, so we're going to promptly take that out. Both teams are very, very wary. Both teams taking very careful steps in respecting each other, actually, because both of them are looking for this next dragon coming up in 25 seconds. and they realize that either way could be snowballed very quickly for the opposite team. So being very careful.
Lucian already having picked up his.
Gatsby though getting stunned by the Xerath, getting hit up by the Gnar. She will be taken down very low. This might not be a great start for Team Essence 8. So she'll be backing away. Xerath though pushing up this turret. They're gonna actually be forced to rotate to the turret because now the turret is in danger. Before Dragon even spawns, this is a great play.
And the already engaged.
Oh.
Great backup from Team Desu.
Yeah, Essence
not
8
being
is on
greedy
the
at
right.
all.
Yeah, Essence 8 is on the hind heels right now. Well, not completely, but at least they're being pushed back a little bit.
Lissandra's probably looking to teleport.
Yeah, she needed to go heal really bad. That means though that they can take the tower right now, and Dragon is alive, so it will mean the Dragon test coming up very soon.
And Team Renewal Desu will have positional advantage, which will force Essence 8 to make a play. And you also have to remember that Ari's ultimate is down, as she used it to defend her turret.
I'm not sure that they'll get an advantage because if they start Dragon, it's too easy for Lissandra to open up on her and use a full combo to deal a bunch of damage to the enemy team. They're too enclosed on that area. They need to actually wait.
And Essence 8 is going for the dragon.
Yeah, they need. That's what they need to wait for. They need to wait for their team to do this. So that started. Red team is just gonna fight it away with no front. The dragon was fairly contested there. They really need to go further than that. We do have Fresh being taken down very low.
Destroyed.
Lissandra getting evaporated, so is Gnar. We have Rek'Sai, who's not quite tanky at all.
2-for-1 for Essence 8 for the moment.
And getting dropped. Everyone on Essence 8 very low, but it's going to be a 1-for-2.
Meanwhile, the minions in the top lane take off the top turret. Apparently, I've been making a mistake the entire game, and it's not Essence 8, it's Endless 8. Okay, Endless, Essence, you know,
It's the same thing.
fairly similar. I hope I'm forgiven by their intense fans and supporters.
So it is 8-8, 2-2 to turrets. It's a fairly close game, but it is 0-2 in dragons for the red team. Shantae being really good for executes. Nidalee is fairly good champion to take out dragon because she has so much DPS and so much execute power at the same time. So they've been taking care of dragon fairly well. It's strange though because Team Renewal Desu, they actually have really good team fight in this area. They could have probably contested that. They have all 5 members, but they were a little bit scared of the Lissandra, who's showing herself inside mid lane, ready to just use her E at any time because they knew that they were positioned around that particular corner that is closest to mid lane, the dragon. So they'll need to flank from both sides or 2 sides the next time they do this, or the next time they want to contest dragon or Baron. We'll have some wars coming out from Baron from the blue team. Team Renewal Desu.
I don't think they're able to do it early on, but you know what? I could be wrong.
They need to just do something though, because really the enemy team is taking objectives from them for no reason. There's actually not much in the way of them contesting those, at the very least. Throwing some Xerath and Gnar skill shots to stop them a little bit. I'm kind of surprised we didn't see that last time. The bottom lane pushing out right now for the red team. Top lane past the river for the red team as well. So it looks like blue team going to be deciding what they want to rotate into. They're not really taking action. They're just responding to things right now. They're letting Lissandra go up there with the teleport, so she just basically gets to farm for free. Looking for a hook here, but Yook's going to miss barely. Grimsilk, he's going to get charmed, but the Banshee's Veil is going to absorb that. Overall, not looking very good for Team Renewal Desu. We do have Team Endless 8 pushing down the top lane. Gnar going to come from the side and try and take out Lissandra, but Lissandra is very slippery. Really not sure if that's going to help too much. We do have some wards being cleared by Duke over here, but it's not particularly the time they need to start placing some wards in the enemy entrance. Whereas the enemy right now has wards in both entrances of both jungles. So it's looking really strong for Team Endless 8's vision control. You know, I really think that Team Endless 8's team fight is weaker than the enemy teams. Even at this point, if they were to head-on-head just in the river team fight, I think they could probably still lose. But the perception of how much pressure they're putting on the map is a little bit higher, I think, than it actually is to Team Renewal Desu. They're actually being more cautious than they need to be. Gyuk throwing out the hook, not going to get it again, but worth a try. Jinte is fairly squishy. So is Rek'Sai, actually. Both these champions going fairly on the offensive side right now, other than the Negatron coming out from Jin. A fairly even game otherwise. It's pretty tense. I'm pretty excited for the next Dragon, actually, because you can tell both teams really care about that, and that's where some action might actually occur right before, right during, or after. Whoa, we do have Grim Sylph following Gatsby for the damage. Gatsby gonna throw out the E and get away safely, but some equal damage being thrown back and forth. Jint really far behind actually in XP. You'd think that Nidalee, being that she can clear so easily and so well, that she would be even or ahead of the Rek'Sai, but she actually just hit level 11 when Rek'Sai had been level 11 for a little bit, just at least a little bit. Jint gonna get revealed here, but he doesn't realize it. Cuckoo Hat gonna get stunned out. The culling coming out, forcing Jint to flash the right of the arcane. Gonna hit up the red team, but is not gonna take them out. We do have great Gatsby throwing out the juke yet again, gonna escape Grim Sylph, just trying his best to split push on that side of the map while the Gnar presence is there. Oh damn, that is a giant crit coming out from Graves and the ultimate, but Lucian sidesteps it swiftly. Gyuk getting the hook and forcing Emma Warlock to flash. Very nice play. Grim Sylph uses teleport to get down there. It's gonna be a flash knock up from Hayam Summit. Hayam Summit taking the kill. Very nice pick. However, the farm alarm going to come out to protect this tower becomes General Gatsby making his move across the bottom top or mid lane, just using auto attacks on towers here and there where he can. Really nice play from Lissandra actually so far. I like the way he's moving in between lanes. He's doing very well at getting as much damage as he can. Jinte getting caught up by Thresh, thrown over the wall, but his team is not going to follow up on that. They're too preoccupied with Dragon, as they should be. Jinte, though, he's going to come back. He's going to get stomped through the wall by the Mega Gnar, or rather the Gnar from Mega Gnar. And that is a free Dragon. Traded for the mid tower. It's not a bad trade, though, actually. For the first Dragon of the game, considering you already took their mid tower, it's a fairly good trade. We do have Hayam Summit. Probably gonna have to take out that ward that he just smited for. But that's what Team Renewal Desu needed. But they've been giving up a lot of map pressure in top to mid lane during that entire time for that to occur. They had Gnar teleport, and that let Lissandra go from top to mid fairly freely and just sort of push it in and deal a couple of auto attacks of damage. They didn't lose very much. They lost the mid tower, but other than that, I mean, it's pretty worth it for them to do that Dragon. We do have Lissandra being spotted out by the blue team. A little bit deceptive though, because when Rek'Sai hits you with his Q, his underground Q, it doesn't actually put any reveal debuff on you or any sort of visual cue to let you know that you've been revealed, but you actually are revealed to the enemy. You can fog the war for 2 or 3 seconds. I'm not too sure how long it is. But keep that in mind when Rek'Sai hits his Qs. There will be vision, and that is very important for the blue team because they do have that pick potential inside of Zerath and Thresh. So it'll be important for them to have vision. And as both teams have been playing, their vision games are really, really strong. So those extra tools are always useful. Nidalee will have her W as an extra tool. Graves' smoke screen, I believe, applies vision for us about a second. So these teams are going to have to use everything they have, but it is Pupu Hat going to get Gyuk caught out in the jungle and making Pupu out of him, just shutting him down. And another one, but it's going to be a stun coming out from Sumaki, taking out Ahri fairly quickly. And Gatsby and Sylph dancing in the top lane as usual. Oh, we do have Sumaki being knocked up. There's no follow-up. Sumaki, they're going to throw the ult down, right at the arcane. Not enough damage to take out Janna. Actually, she looks like she sidestepped all of those. Farm alarm coming down. Jinte and Lissandra positioning for something, but they realize that Rek'Sai is in the area. I'm going to back off from this one. They do have a ward right there, so we'll be taken out by Rek'Sai though. Oh, Warlock using the ultimate, going to take out Akisuki. That crit came out the perfect time for the ultimate to come out, and that'll be a free kill for them, so that's great timing. But nothing coming up too much of value at the moment, so they're just going to have to put pressure on the map with this. Oh, himself going to use the Gnar into the wall, preparing Hayam Summit for this gank. General Gatsby using her E. She has nowhere to go at the moment. She is going to be taken out by Hayam Summit. Oh, her E finally came up, but too little, too late. Looks like Ji-Yun going to get spotted out here by... Not too sure what that was, but she's going to get spotted out. Sumaki trying to make a pick. Wow, his Qs deal a ton of damage. That champion has so much power under his belt. But we did see Pupu Hat take down somebody 100-0 not too long ago, so we know that the damage is on both sides. Fairly equal. It's actually funny because the positions of the jungle are very similar too. They both have sort of that that gap close and assassination potential, but they're both fairly squishy as well. High mobility. Good tip to know if you're playing Rek'Sai: when you are burrowed, you have much less vision of wards around you. Even if you look like you have vision of an area, was that? No, that was not his ultimate. Even if you do think you have vision of a small area around you, sometimes there might be a ward there that you actually do not see until you're unburrowed. You have to actually be like less than a unit away to see the ward while you're burrowed. So that's a good tip. Don't presume that there's no wards when you're burrowed. Ooh, we do have the charm coming out though, but it is going to miss. These two teams are positioning for Dragon as it comes up in about a minute, so they do need to start placing those wards. Grimself though going to follow on to Jinte and General Gatsby with no fear of that 1v2. He is so tanky right now, having that Banshees and Randuin's. Yup, putting himself in a good spot. Setting up the pinks in the right places. Not too far in for the enemy to siege behind and take for free, and not too far out to be useless. Gnar's gonna go back. We do have Ji-Yun trying to contest this ward here. So at this point they need to protect this pink ward, but they're not doing anything for it. Instead they're gonna throw down the party detector. Gnar going back to his lane. He does have teleport, so he will be using that to join his team if necessary. We do have Lucian though clearing in the mid lane, and the red team positioning themselves yet again for that blue buff and then dragon most likely. It's coming up in about 3 seconds, so if the blue team doesn't position themselves properly right now, this would be a free dragon yet again for the red team. There needs to be wards immediately. General Gatsby gets caught up by the thresh hook, but there's not going to be any engage. That's not who you want to engage on. You have screams coming from the player's booth, tons of excitement coming out. Pupu Hat is going to have to dash over the wall. Here comes the dragon fight. The hook comes out. Ji-Yang gets caught up. Mega Gnar comes out. The 3-man Gnar did. Exhaust comes onto General Gatsby, and Hayam Summit follows. He's going to get the flash. General Gatsby is going to ult himself, and Hayam Warlock is going to be taken out by Xerath. We have Lucian on the backside chasing Pupu Hat and Jinte. He's going to be forced away though from the threat of the spear, and Dragon starts for the blue team. This is a perfect fight for them. Like I said before, they have the superior team fight, and this is exactly what they needed to do. They just needed to not be afraid and engage on it. That was a great team fight coming out for the blue team. And they're going to take a full advantage of this. They got the second dragon, so it is now 2-2 in dragons, I believe. 3-4 in turrets, and they could possibly know Ari will be there just in time. Time Summit needs to hightail it out of there.
That was intense.
That was awesome.
Wow.
That was really cool. A lot of crazy action coming out there. Not too sure what happened to Poo had in that whole scenario, but he was forced to use his ultimate early on, which really caused a lot of damage to drop from their side. So they were only able to make one pick, I think, or I think they didn't even get a kill that entire time. So the goal differential looking quite high. Most lane carries are 2k apart from their counterparts from the blue side to the red side. So the blue side showing a little bit of a lead now. Let's see what their next move is. They can still make picks just as easily as they could before. So not much is actually lost from this. They can still make it back. They're positioning for Dragon now. A lot of things coming out. Yuk almost landing the hook. Smack just putting so much damage out. It is insane that these guys can just force these objectives like this. Brood force it because they have a very, very fed Rek'Sai and a very tanky Gnar. The knockup is going to hit up Jinte and the slow as well. Jinte is going to be taken out. Time Warlock gets taken down to 3rd health just from the right of the Arcane. So much damage coming out from Xerath. And that just means it's a free lane for blue team. Walk on up and take whatever they want. Actually, since the jungle is dead, they can most likely start up the Baron now. They wouldn't have enough time, but that's a lot of threat from Lissandra inside that Baron pit. Wow, Gnar is going to go in really hard on this turret. The turret is going to be taken down. All of a sudden, whoa, the ultimate though, coming out from Poo Hat, he's going to be taken out very quickly by Akatsuki. He's going to get in range of Life Rainer. Not what he wanted. Lissandra, having already used her ultimate, goes back in, gets the hook, is going to be CC'd to death, and here's Hayam Warlock also being taken out. This whole team is being dismantled so quickly. The double kill from Xerath with the purple rain, or rather the blue rain. Going to get the double buffs and take out this turret. The blue team showing some hesitation at first, and all of a sudden exploding over the enemy team, taking whatever they want and just showing their brute force in stats.
It really does help having a front line of Rek'Sai and Gnar, though.
Yeah, definitely. At first, I was hesitant.
I am actually feeling that this is what's making the difference for Team Renewal Desu.
Yeah, at first I was hesitant, and it is true that they do have a hard time engaging. However, they don't have a hard time contesting. That's the main difference.
And it lets them tower dive and force the other team to play around them.
They can just walk up to towers. They can just walk up to Baron. They don't actually have to be afraid of the enemy engage. They should just walk, especially with these Banshee's Veils. They have the power to just walk down the enemy team. Those Banshee's Veils do a lot for their front line.
And we're now seeing the first real gold lead happening. About 4,000 gold.
Under 4 minutes ago, it was less than 2,000. Now we have over 3,000 apart at least. So taking this snowball and riding it hard is the blue team. And just as they did in the last game, but they were a little bit more confident in the first game of the day. This game, a little bit more wary because they knew the damage, the pick potential of the enemy team is high, and also the players are very good actually. Akatsuki gonna catch out Jinte, might get the kill onto Jinte actually, but he's gonna turn around to attack the minions, but the light slinger rather, is back up. He's gonna get the Q onto the cat. The cat's gonna go down. Red team though barreling down the mid lane. It looks like they're taking full advantage of this pick happening. Nidalee probably called out their teammates, but it is too late. It was the wrong call to make. Now they're split up and indecisive. They were backing and now they're not. The red team is indecisive. Ari just stopped her back twice now, I'm fairly sure. This is so not good coming up from the red team. They just gave up 2 towers for free just off that indecisiveness. Gnar gonna miss, but it doesn't matter. They'll take the inhibitor and walk out of here.
He got charmed, but no engage off of that.
Oh, Yuk gonna get the hook. Warlock explodes. He's gonna get melted. Lissandra has the time to re-engage here. She will flash and engage out to Sumaki, take her out, or almost take him out. She's gonna zone us in the meantime. Hayam Summit getting out.
Double kill from the Lissandra.
The Lissandra Q getting 2 kills. Grim Sylph is in a lot of trouble. He's in the middle of the enemy team, and Yuk also gonna be taken out.
That's 4 for 1.
4 for 1 for the Red team, that's a great comeback, and it's exactly what they needed. Dragon comes up in 45 seconds. They can actually do this because Nara comes up in
They
that
could also
same
go
time.
for Baron.
That was exactly what they needed. The blue team, once again, got a little bit too overconfident with their lead and didn't play the game respectfully the way they should have.
And Lucian going for the pressure in the bot lane. I thought the inhibitor was still up, but they actually did get it down. He's going to take away objectives in the jungle. Meanwhile, Endless 8 is going to get Baron. And blue team, being dead, cannot contest. Or can they?
This is a really good call from Endless 8. This is exactly what they need to do in this instance. It's the only thing they can do. But here comes Rek'Sai. There's 4 members of Endless 8 who are very low. Could they still contest this? No, Ahri doesn't have enough mana to do anything. Akatsuki comes out here. Ahri is in a lot of trouble. The spear comes out. It's going to miss. They're not able to support their teammate, but the teleport is coming out. Cuckoo Hat super low. It's not going to be taken out. The Sandra ultimate coming out is going to finally kill Lucian. Hayam Summit going to be looking for the next target. Probably not going to be able to grab anybody at this point. And Graves is going to go ahead and start up Dragon
And
on
the
his
chase
own.
is on.
Oh,
There it's
Jinte though.
ultimate. Oh.
Nice fancy feed. Gatsby going to make the juke. Nice W at the same time. Really like the way he's playing Lissandra. Great mechanics. And everyone gets out safely. Very nicely played from Team Endless 8.
And great presence of mind of rooting the enemy team before using his claw to escape.
That's exactly what I mean. That was a great play. So we have Graves going ahead and just taking the Dragon while all of that was happening, and now placing some deep wards in the enemy jungle.
And blue side taking away every possible objective in the red jungle.
But it's not worth too much since the red team has already taken Baron, the red team has already taken Dragon. They've placed a deep ward in the bottom side, which is where they need to be focusing next, the bot lane and the mid lane. So this is what's going to happen next. The red team is probably going to be looking to force these 2 lanes. Not before they protect top though, because it's pushing quite hard in their side.
And we're getting to the point where the gold is just about even again, and at this point any gold lead becomes less and less significant.
We are hitting up the 40-minute mark, going to the late game with these guys.
I did tell you it was going to be a long game.
Oh, I definitely believe you too. There's a lot of wave clear on both sides. Both sides are looking really strong still. They're only 1k apart. Red team closed that gold difference very quickly. So now it's 22 to 18. 6-4 in turrets.
And blue team's going to find it hard to push against the Baron Dub team. They might have to wait it out.
There might be an inhibitor down for the red team, but this is a lot closer than it looks, folks.
And the Sandra's going to go and clear the super minions in the bot lane. Meanwhile, blue team is going to pick up all the buffs they can, clear out wards, pick up crabs.
This is great for the red.
Yeah, meanwhile, the red team is pushing down mid lane.
Yeah, they're barely
great
down mid
positioning, horrible positioning by the blue team.
But this is not what they want. They need somebody bottom to split up their Baron buff usefulness right now.
But they're picking up an inner middle turret, which is really going to give them more space to play with.
They could have probably taken that with 4 at that point. Playing it safe, that's fine, but not taking chances while you're losing loses you a game. Like, if you do not take chances and make plays, make risks.
The gold lead switching to Endless 8 now, ahead by only 400 gold. At 41 minutes, that is insanely close.
But Team Renewal Desu can still stagnate. They can still draw this out if they wanted to, and that's why Team Endless 8 has to make a play soon. They have to do something. They're going to be barreling, or no, rather, they're going to be moving towards their mid lane turrets. They're still wary of the Baron buff.
More like tunneling.
Yeah, tunneling. But I'm fairly sure the Baron buff is going to be dropping pretty soon. It looked like it did.
It actually did.
Yeah. So they have nothing to be afraid of. Because their team fight is still very strong. I mean, they still have the same amount of gold, basically. So this should look like a team fight in the favor of blue team if they find it. Like I said, though, one pick turns this game on its head very quickly.
Yeah, you can't discount the fact that the longer this game goes, the longer the death timers are going to be.
The thing though about
Rek'Sai using her Void Rush to come back in the mid lane and join her team up.
The thing about the picks on the red side though is Jint has a lot more kill potential in the early game, and as the game moves on, Nidalee, unless she's fairly far ahead, doesn't get that much of a free ride in the assassination department. So, but she will get a free ride in the poke department, poking Xerath out for 40% of his HP. That is going to make the red team show a little bit of signs of aggression as Lissandra throws out her E. Now they're posturing forward, thinking that they've got the blue team on their hind heels, and the blue team looking to just wave clear this safely as they can. They have got a ton of range, a ton of wave clear. So since the red team didn't use their Baron to actually split into 2 lanes, they couldn't make more out of it than they did. They only got 1 tower out of it, which is not really worth it. They could have probably at least pressured the bottom lane. Even if their Baron expired, they would have pressure there and then just siege and disengage. They still have that potential.
Currently, Lissandra's pushing top, forcing Team Renewal Desu to actually push out the lanes instead of holding out mid. Bit of a stall though at the moment. After all this intensity in team fights, it's a bit of a disappointment almost, getting a lull in all the action.
But both teams just playing it safe as they should, trying to make the best possible play, trying to get the best possible vision set up. So is the red team. They're looking towards the dragon again, coming up in 50 seconds. They are going to be setting up around this area. Rek'Sai going to be finding this ward very quickly.
At this point, if we had more spectators, we'd be hearing cheers for ward clears.
Oh yeah, definitely. This looks pretty fun though. I like what Pupu has in mind, but nobody was actually passing by there. So what that allows is Lucian to push up the lane for free. Red team loses something out of that, so it forces General Gatsby to go back, because he's going to have to defend the top lane. But they do find a pick, possibly. Nope. Ghosties coming out.
Them evil ghosties.
Yeah, both teams are really, really hesitant right now.
Trinket-wise, it's very interesting that Janna picked up the Sight Trinket, whereas Graves and Lissandra picked up improved warded trinkets. Whereas on the blue side, they have 4 ward clearing trinkets and 1 vision, completely foregoing ward placements.
We do have Sylph taking away the enemy red. And the red team staying in that corridor, really waiting for a move to be made on the dragon.
And both of the dragon and Baron are alive. So one team could go for one objective and the other team could go for the other objective.
Because of the compositions of both of these teams, either team starting the dragon puts that team at a significant positional disadvantage. So both teams are very afraid of actually making the first positional move onto the dragon. They would rather all 10 players be in the river as it starts. I think that would probably be the best situation for both teams. So they're playing it very, very wary, because they know the next team fight could surely be the last team fight.
Oh yeah, at 46 minutes in the game, the death timers are about 60, 70 seconds.
It looks like Blue is making the decision though, because Red had started the dragon.
Those ghosties though.
Those little ghosties.
Really saving out the team, giving vision.
Alright, let's see. Red team's going to start up this dragon with blue team slightly out of position because Narwa
they are bursting it down.
And here comes the smite for
dragon has been taken. Xerath ulti is out.
And it doesn't hit anybody.
Everyone.
It does force Ari to ult though, which does mean that they will withdraw and they will.
And that is the red team's 4th dragon of the game. So that 4th buff giving minion damage, well, increased damage on minions. And they are one dragon away from the 5th dragon, which doubles up all the previous buffs from the other dragon.
Those Banshee's Veils are super important on this team. So is that QSS coming out from Lucian. Very important on this team. Even in the case that they do get engaged on, I think that they have a very good chance of getting away with all of the utility they have against CC at this point. Gnar looking really tanky with the Maul Malmortius. That is a scary item on that. We do have the top lane pushing for one team and the bottom pushing for the other. It's going to force both top lanes to go back and take care of that. Evidently, the top laner is taking care of it with the teleports to make the most use out of their teleport. So, you know, they can clear a lane and teleport into the team fight anytime necessary. We do have the red team though. They look like they want to siege on the mid lane. Could be a little bit dangerous if they don't set up more ward coverage on the left side where Gnar is coming from. Could be quite dangerous if Gnar decided to come from the side without Lissandra's support. But instead, no, they won't choose to shove up too hard. They're just sort of staying in this area. I'm not sure what the red team's plan is at this point. Probably looking for a brush gank. And it looks like that's what might come of it, but no. Rek'Sai going to spot out Lissandra with the Depth Seeker, I think it's called. We do have Gnar pushing quite hard in the top lane, and Lissandra likewise in the bottom lane, but Baron is up, and that is what the blue team is painting. We do have Graves following behind. Oh, Graves putting himself in a dangerous spot, though. That was too close for comfort. Gyuk could have thrown out a hook very, very close to that area. Would have spelled disaster for Graves. Oh wow, we do have a tower going down, and one maybe going down from Gnar as well up in the top lane. So trading towers back and forth, just out of pure decisiveness. These two teams are not quite sure what the next right action is. We do have Lucian though. He's stuck in a bad place as Pupu Hat is making his way around with his team. They're cutting these two members off. Lissandra's dealing damage to the inhibitor tower. He's taking in the inhibitor tower. I have no idea what's going on right now. Akatsuki is making his way out. Pupu Hat wanting to ult in and use the charm. We do have Jinte taking out super low. Is going to be taken out. I'm a Warlock getting caught up from Haiman Summit. Haiman Summit just so big with that elixir of iron. Going to take out Haiman Warlock.
Gnar flashing, forcing the ultimate from Janna.
But we have Lissandra meanwhile. Lissandra split pushing the bottom lane. Gonna take out that turret. And oh my god, the 1v2 taking out Lucian at the same time and almost Haiman Summit. Oh my gosh, that was so close.
This game is ridiculous.
That was an insane move across the map. Lissandra basically took a tower and two and an inhibitor because Xerath moved away from the lane to try and help his team. Made it very late to the fight, but at least because of Xerath, they were able to kill 3 other members of that team and force Ahri away, which is really good. But mostly the mistake came out from Lucian and Gnar getting in the wrong place. They got caught up by the enemy team and forced a very awkward rotation from Team Renewal Desu that I don't think they were expecting. But here they are. They're going to start the Baron, and it looks like it's a free Baron for them actually. A lot of damage going up from Rek'Sai and onto this guy. And they will take the next Baron for free. So now a little bit more even across the map. It is 7 to 8 in towers, and the gold lead is still 1k apart at 52 minutes. That's how tight this game is, folks. These two teams are really showing that they are both contenders for this tournament. We have Dragon showing up in about 50 seconds, so both teams will start posturing, warding for that that next objective. But the advantage right now rests in the red team's hand, as they actually have an inhibitor down for the enemy team, and their lane is pushing. They do get a little bit more pressure off of that, but that doesn't mean that it's enough to get another objective for free. Just because the blue team can still walk them down, they can still team fight very easily. Oh, the book comes out fresh. General Gatsby is just evaporated, couldn't even Zonia's during that entire time. Very unfortunate.
And that surely means a free dragon for the blue team, which denies the 5th dragon for Endless 8.
That's really, really unfortunate. General Gatsby has been playing out of his mind this entire game, but that one little slip-up does mean a huge play for the blue team. But the red team barreling down the mid lane while they take Dragon. This is exactly the play they need to make, actually. But instead, they're going to be pincering them because they just realized that they split the team up. So smart. Let's see if they can make anything out of it first, though. We do have Gnar and Xerath. They're walking up.
Xerath completely missing everything except for his Q.
Gyuk getting shot up. Gyuk might be in trouble here. Jun still has the Banshees very safe. Actually,
Janna using her ultimate and then flash.
Yeah.
No, she didn't flash away.
No. But both teams are playing very, very safe right now. That was really smart of the red team. They ran down the mid lane, forcing the blue team to split up, thinking they had to defend a tower, leaving it 2 at mid and 3 at the Dragon. And then the 4 members of Team Endless 8 ran back to Dragon, trying to cut them off. Very smart, except that Xerath has Rite of the Arcane, which can reach all the way over the Dragon. So might have not been a big deal after all. But really fun play there. Wish it worked out a little bit better.
And as players start, most of them have their full build at this point. Xerath is missing 1 item, but has 2,400 gold on him. So we're probably expecting another major item from him to get more damage on the board. Ari has her full build. She's already chugging potions at this point.
Yeah, considering that Ari was punished so much and so much pressure was put onto her throughout this whole game, she's been farming really well, actually. Team Endless 8 has been scrounging whatever they can. You can tell they're putting a lot of energy into this game. We do have red waves pushing up in the side lanes, looking a little bit dangerous. Yeah, they are going to have to force to turtle this one out because they are at their inhibitor turrets all around, and one of their inhibitors is still down. Gyuk looking for the pick here. He can still make one. Oh, gets Nidalee. Is that going to get deletion? Yeah, that is deletion. Oh, Jinte, though, with the Rite of the Arcane. Is that going to finish Jinte off?
Oh, no.
Almost. Oh, and the boomerang. What's going on? The flash. But that puts Lucian in danger. Lucian gets out now. General
Sandra getting absolutely murdered.
She's using Zonia's, but her team is not able to gap the distance, and then she gets taken out. Poo-Poo Hat getting stunned up and just evaporated like Poo-Poo. Ji-Yun, the next victim on the board. This surely is the game. The red inhibitor is being pinged out by the blue team. This looks for sure like the end of the game. What an intense game this has been.
What an intense game.
All based off of the picks of either team.
Those were some clutch hooks as well from Gyuk.
Yeah, that was great. That was a great hook coming out from Gyuk.
And Team Renewal Desu clearing out the inhibitor. Where are they going? Why aren't they finishing?
I don't know. If they cannot finish at least this inhibitor, I'll be
Well, they
so
have
disappointed.
plenty of time. They have 15 seconds before Nidalee respawns.
Yeah.
And there's only Graves to defend.
Oh,
Graves
Graves
gets
gets
caught.
hooked up. He's going to get played back into the team. He's going to use
Yeah,
quick
they
draw to get out.
absolutely smash.
But then Rite of the
Off
Arcane
screen.
comes out. Rite of the Arcane just chunking him out and killing him. For sure. Mega Gnar going to be jumping around, scaring off the cat. Oh, Gyuk though, being safe from the minions. Mega Gnar, Nari,
Finish,
General Gatsby back
and it's
into
over.
the fountain.
GG.
Great
What a
game.
game.
Team Renewal Desu 2-0 so far in the tournament.
Great start for them for the tournament.
Oh yeah, super close game though. Super close game. Really got to hand it to Team Endless 8. They played out of their mind. General Gatsby, for sure.
Definitely looking forward to seeing Endless 8 play again.
Yeah, same here. That Lissandra play was really fun to watch. Really impressed by that.
And look at that CS by Lissandra, 464. It's huge. Topping everyone.
The Gnar ended up being super useful in the end. Got so tanky that he was just able to walk
And the
down.
frozen mallet that he had was keeping the enemy team away from running away.
Yeah. So Gnar doing super well in that team comp. Able to walk down the enemy team very easily with the slows and percentage damage. Overall, really, really strong performance from Team Renewal Desu.
Yeah. And we'll take a break now. We figure out what game we're streaming next.
Thanks, guys. See you
Thanks.
soon.
Yeah.